Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Friday's morning ad-free live stream. Super pumped that you're here. My name's Tyler. Welcome. If you're here for the first time, I'm going to be helping navigate you through the wild world of day trading futures. You can expect me to give my daily trading bias, which, to be honest, has been pretty good the last few days. We are seeing some crazy price action right now, so we'll talk about that, and we'll also be sharing some real-time trades here this morning. If you're watching this after the fact, you can jump to the key moments using the chapter markers below the video. And also, if you are looking to take your trading to the next level, whether you're using a cash account or you are just getting into the trading industry, you can use the code DTJ for an evaluation account with Apex, where it'll give you anywhere from 50% to 90% off. It will give you the best discount that they are offering. And with that, let's go ahead, open in prayer, and let's rock and roll. Good morning, Deborah, Eva, Tony, good morning. Father, we just honor you this morning. We thank you for just the goodness of the Lord, your kindness and your faithfulness. And Lord, that you consistently and continually watch over us and care for all of our needs. And Father, I thank you that you are our provider. You provide for all of our needs, and that you've given us this ability to produce wealth. So today I declare that everyone a part of this stream will see increase in their trading. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, folks, we got a heck of a move in the pre-market. I mean, insane. I mean, I feel like everything's basically been insane. It's just, I mean, we are... The opening range gap itself, I don't even know what level is this. I don't even know how to figure out how big this is. We are sitting at 190, or we closed at 21,190. And we are at 21,600. That's 400 points in the pre-market, folks. 400. So, key things that have happened so far is we just ran the previous day high. And we filled this hourly fair value gap that I wanted to see filled. What was it? I was hoping to see it yesterday, actually, before we had the big, massive drop. So we've now come back up to that. Basically, all the loss that we had, we basically just recovered that. Give me a second. I have a message I need to respond to. All right. Lenu, Tilof, Tony, good morning. Youngjun, good morning. Glad to have you guys here this morning. Northern, what's up, my friend? So now that we are almost at the midpoint of this hourly as well. But now that we hit the hourly, I want a retracement. I'm going to play to the downside. That's what I'm going to do after this. And especially since we've hit London high and the previous day high, which was London high. That's what I want. That's just what it's going to be. I'm not going to look for a long unless we get some type of, I don't even know. I don't even want to look for a long. I mean, that's how. I really don't. I did take a trade at 9:04 this morning. We had this retracement, and as soon as we started pumping, I just took a 10 handle small win that I took. I think I'm going to be bombarded. I was thinking, I'm considering signing. I don't have health insurance, and so I was looking at getting health insurance, and I partially filled out something. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get lots of phone calls. I've gotten like 9 different messages from different providers or salespeople. It's quite annoying. Yeah, Ted. We took out when we had this pump right here. I just basically played it to the previous day high. I mean, honestly, you never know. But I mean, I've been saying to myself, I will say this. Yesterday, after the market, I said to myself, you know what? We haven't had a true trending day yet. I wonder if we're going to have a trending day soon. And then we get all of this. It would be insane to think that we just run all the way up here for 1,000 points. That would be insane. But when you look at the daily, this is the daily time frame. We really could be going back up, guys. I know I really don't want to go higher. We got the inauguration next week with Trump coming into office. We have peace in the Middle East. There's a real chance we just skyrocket here. So I'm telling you that I don't want to take a long, but I'm telling you that we could go long. How's that for a mentor for you? So hey, my son walked in. My son walked in. We got plenty of time, and I told you that I only want to go short, and I don't really know what to do at this point. My son walked in, and for those of you that don't know, I'm starting a small account challenge. I'm going to be doing a small account challenge. I'm going to build an account from $500, and my goal is to hit 1,000, and maybe do more. The main reason is I've never done one before. I became profitable on prop firms. So I've never built my own personal account, and I want to prove to myself that I can do it. So I'm doing a small account challenge, and my son walks in with this. And before this, I'll describe it. I'll say it. My son walked in with, can you even see that? My son walked in with this. That little guy right there. There it is. Right there. And I literally was saying to myself, small account challenge. What if I get like a piggy bank and I put it in my hand like this and do a picture like that for like my thumbnail? And then he walks in with this. So I'm going to try it. We're going to try a thumbnail with a teeny tiny piggy bank on it. We'll see what happens. But this is really, I want to see prices lower, to be honest. I really don't want to just keep pumping like this. So I'm going to be looking for some shorts going lower. In regards to how I'm going to take a trade, I will be taking a trade on my TradeEvade account. To be honest, here's that trade that I took right there. There's that trade right there. But to be honest, I really like this feature right here where I can basically just switch out the style of trade I want to take, whether it's a 930 model, which I have a couple different variations for my 930 model, and then if I want to just take 10 or 20 handles with a designated stop loss. I like it. I'm kind of liking it. I hate the look of the chart. I hate the feel of it, but I like the executions. I like how it executes for me. So we're going to be taking trades on here. I really like that right here. The rejection of that fair value gap. It would be nice to see an expansion lower. I really don't want to see the expansion. I want to make sure we stay up here and don't hit this fair value gap before open, because I would like us to reach into this level at least till open, or reach down to the previous day high. Or, yeah, the previous day high. So that's what we'll take our executions. Outside of that, I don't know. It's Friday, guys. I'm pretty chill. Pretty chill for what to expect here. We don't technically have any news. We already had consumer or something at 8:30, or maybe that was I don't even know. It was some orange folder news came out at 8:30. NinjaTrader has a nice way to set those up if you use it. Yeah, I don't use NinjaTrader. I use Trade of 8. But for those that may use NinjaTrader, that's good to know. You got the pump right after the high. See, once we hit that high, I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna get out. Who knows what's gonna happen after that? I could have done, instead of 10 handles, I could have done a 20 handles target. Bracket order, and then just let it reach for that, because it basically hit it in a matter of 5 seconds. But go ahead and hit that like button, folks, if you do want to see all that on-screen trade. ES has already hit its previous day high as well. Here's ES for us here this morning. Previous day high. We have another previous day high. Let's mark that. Let's mark that there and see if anything comes from that. But man, we are not slowing down. We got the daily fair value gap sitting up there. Esteban, good morning. To be honest, if I had a preference with 3 minutes left, I want to see this as a breaker. High, low, higher, high. And I want to see displacement lower. I'm going to get so many phone calls today. Just extremely annoying. You're right, it did. It did make a nice breaker to the upside, and holy cow. Honestly, I would want to go short right now. Jeez. Well, I mean, holy cow. You just probably grabbed 20 handles off of that, Ted. That just insane. Yeah, I mean, this is just too bullish. We just need to assume we're going to go higher. You know what? I'm going to change my bias, folks. I'm going to go long. Maybe not right at this exact moment. But I may look at trying to find a long. Because every time that we are in a trending market that I want, I'm the contrarian to the trending market. I'm looking for the reversal. I may try to run with it this time. But we're going to for sure wait for some type of retracement. Let's see what happens. Oh my gosh. My phone. I think I'm going to block every single number. All right, I took the 930 model, got 10 handles out of that. In the green for that, up nicely already at the open. We're going to wait and see if we get anything that makes just an obvious hello, hello, take a short, take a long here. Okay, here's our breaker to the downside. I did take this short here. Let's see if it can give it to us. I'm going to close that. We hit the breaker, and so I wanted to take that short right there. 588, ended up closing at 580, so I was reaching for 20 handles, didn't quite get it. It did end up wicking down there, but with the volatility of the open, I just wasn't wanting to mess around with it. We also tagged the high, so if we do an inversion of this level right here, to be honest, I'm not afraid to take it. If it's as aggressive as we've been seeing right here. The other thing is, when we have such a large opening range gap, we want to put the quarters on here. The first quarter is at the new week opening gap at the 5th. So if it does in fact stay in the top quarter, we'll see if it wants to push higher here. That's kind of what we're looking to see, if it stays in between these two black lines. What's up, Brian? David, good morning. Yeah, I know everybody's going to be chasing it, but I can't tell you how many times the only reason I can say that I would be bearish is we've already ran the previous day high. So I want to see if we're going to stay in this premium portion, if we're going to find support in this fair value gap here that actually ran the high, and see if it actually wants to move higher from there. I'm only interested in a long if we inverse this fair value gap. That's the only way I'm looking for a long. Until then, I will look at everything else as potential bearish entries. Like, for example, that level there. That could be considered a breaker. Or is a breaker, I should say. Not a single fair value gap since the open. I honestly, I don't know if everybody's looking for longs, to be honest. Ted, totally understand about holding those trades, but something about just being able to get 10 handles. I've done that 3 times already. I've gotten 10 handles 3 times. I've gotten 30 handles today. And I barely tried. So, I mean, it's... And you... I'm doing the math. I'm doing the math here. I got 7 accounts, all sitting just shy of $300. That's just under $2,000. I just made $2,000 and I'm out of every trade and I could be done. What I'm trying to say is, like, yeah, I totally get the fact that I want to hold the trades longer and it is an absolute goal of mine. But I'm not complaining. Yeah, leave a micro on. There you go. All right, so if we close below this, this looks like a really nice trade, to be honest, actually. Oh, it's not going to close. I was going to say, give us a bearish order block with the close of a fair value gap. That's money. That's like a guaranteed push to a swing low. Let's see if it gives it to us. I'm only interested if we don't run this low right here. We have to close somewhere in here. It made equal lows right there. It's still technically valid, but I'm not going to take it unless it comes back up closer to here. Or it retraces for me back into here and finds resistance. All right, so it didn't even, look at that. It didn't even close below and it stayed above the fair value gap. So we never got an entry. So no opportunity. Staying out. Waiting for clean, clear setups here. We do have a 5-minute change in state of delivery, and this breaker is sitting right at that 5-minute change in state of delivery. So it would be nice to see some us to find some support here, come back up to this breaker, maybe this fair value gap, and reject it. Okay, for a bigger move lower, that would be nice. That's a possibility. Or we just drop, like the same way we came up, we go down. All right, so there's the official close below that fair value gap. Just no opportunity with that. Yeah, you could take a trade and you can see if it runs, and you probably will make money if you want to do a 10-handle scalp. But if you're going to do it, you need to do it not on this candle, but when it closes and goes to the new candle and comes back up into that previous candle. That's when you want to take the entry. Because if you take it down here, then you have to deal with all this retracement crap. So that would be your entry right there if you were going to do something. I mean, I'm not interested in it, but I'm just saying, like, that's how you take those continuation trades. You take it on the manipulation of the individual candle. This would be the manipulation, ideally the manipulation, theoretically the manipulation, and then it pushes lower. But it's not always going straight down all the time, is it? That's what makes these trades kind of difficult. So I'm not interested in that. We'll see if we come back up to the previous day high and see if we find resistance there. Maybe wick up into the breaker. But if you've noticed, we have not had a single fair value gap since the open. Not a single fair value gap since the open. Everything has been just completely closed up. '22 model. Yeah, if it reaches up into this fair value gap, it would be a 2022 model. If it hits the breaker, it would be a breaker. And if it doesn't hit the breaker and continues to drop, it means we're super heavy and we should try to get in for the ride. There's a close below that. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait till 10. I want to see where we land at 10 o'clock. Or between 9:45 and 10. We'll see where things kind of land. Remember, we got an entire day. I'm not going to be jumpy or antsy. We already had 3 wins this morning. So we're not trying to make something happen. We're going to be patient and wait for something to show up. I like this candle right here. If we close like this or start going red, that's when I would be potentially interested in taking a short, like right there. I'm not doing this. I'm just tape reading to see how it reacts. So see how that candle just reacted? It was going green. We're down to 5 seconds left and we turn red. That's the kind of candles you can take scalps on. Okay, look how also where this candle ended, we made equal lows. So that's potentially a signal for a continue lower right there. All right, now we're at the new week opening gap. And that's also 930 price from yesterday. I'm curious. I want to see how 930 reacts to this, or how price reacts to 930 from yesterday. Yesterday, we hit 930 was right here. We had a tiny wick above, and then we just dropped for the rest of the day. So this technically is the opening price from yesterday, and this is your rebalance for price action. So from this point, we could potentially see price begin to move higher. That's why 930 is significant. Well, what do you mean 930? Well, who cares about 930, right? This is why. Look at this reaction. And it wouldn't surprise me if we get a fair value gap involved in here. Are you on a 50K eval account, Ted? So I figured out the rhythm I like for my eval accounts. I figured it out. And when I do my eval accounts, I like to do my eval accounts with 5 contracts for 10 handles. If I take 5 contracts for 10 handles, I'll get $3,000, or I'll pass my account in 3 trades. Pass the eval account in 3 trades. What did I say that we'll probably get right here off of this 930? I said that there's a chance that we get a fair value gap. Let's see if we get one. Ryan likes to full port his evals. I don't. I mean, basically five contracts. I mean, 30 handles and you blow your account. I mean, all right, let's go to the 2-minute here. All right, we made an order block here. If we can see price come back down into this fair value gap, if it can create this fair value gap here, I like the idea of it tagging in here and then pushing higher. Off of this breaker, off of 930. It's probably not even going to give it to us. There's a little sweep of the high. Market structure shift right there. This also is an inversion fair value gap. We just got to look at that as consideration that we may go lower right off of this level right here. See that? See this down close candle right here? These two down close. Look at the wicks. If we inverse this, I will take that trade as well. So I can see the potential for both the upside and the downside. I'm just reading price action. It's been very clean so far, and I'm not looking for big moves. I'm just looking for 10 to 20 handles. So, and the volatility can easily give us that I'm not afraid to take a stab if it shows something that looks really nice. Here would be that breaker for the upside. Right now, I'm kind of leaning toward the downside right now, so I haven't taken it. Especially since we have this this level over here. That's kind of what's got me looking lower right now. I got 20 handles that I'll be interested in taking here. If it closes. Excuse me, looking to target 20 handles if we close below this level right here. That level right there is what I'd be looking at. This technically is our first fair value gap as well. This fair value gap right here that we referenced. We're finding support here. Let's see if it really holds or if it just drops. I'm looking for the short, guys. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm looking for the short. I don't think we got a volume imbalance in between that candle. No, it's a nice close. So right now, that level that I referenced before on the buy side of the curve is technically considered a breaker, and I just want to see if it's going to follow through by giving us a close below that inversion fair value gap, below that fair value gap, I should say. If we get that close, I will probably take a short. There's a 30-second. 30-second. I want to wait for the 1 minute, not the 30-second close. Technically, there's a 30-second close right there. The 30s. Did the 30-second give us a close? Yes, it did, but I said I wanted to wait for the 1 minute. Look at the bodies still respecting, all staying in the premium portion of this fair value gap. This one almost, it landed right on it. So now I'm curious if we just pump higher. Looking at the signature and price telling me that it wants to go higher. I'm sorry, I'm not on the right screen here. This signature, look at the bodies of this, all hanging out in the premium portion of that fair value gap. The signature is saying it's going to go higher. That's basically what it's telling me. And higher we got. This is that level we're still tracking. See if it wants to. And then we have an inversion here. So what am I doing? Premium P array number 1 violated potentially. Premium array number 2 violated. Premium array number 3. If it gets violated and we get up here, I'm looking for a long. So I'm looking for 3 or more, roughly about 3 PD arrays to show me that it wants to continue higher. And these are the big ones. 1, 2, 3. And if it doesn't do that, then I'm looking at short. Because right now I could see the option for both sides, but I would have to say with us hitting the previous day high and this coming up to the previous day high there, I'm interested in shorts. I'm interested in it running lower. I bet you that there's a 30-second in there. Oh, it didn't close. Okay, good. Isn't that crazy? I kept saying in my head, wait for the close, 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 and then it just closes above it. we're going to wait for the close. Got 5 minutes till 10 o'clock. Yeah, this is a nice 15-minute killer candle right there. This screams sell side. But I'm gonna keep in the cards that we could move higher, but I'm only interested is if we get up to here. If we break this level here to move higher, that's the only way I'm interested in potentially going long. One hour wick, yeah, it's huge. Huge. If it wanted to go higher, I feel like it would have already gone higher. I'm taking this short right now. I might be premature, but based on the way it's looking, let's see if it gives it to us. $20 handles, baby. I could have held that, but I'm elated. I'm elated. Winning. That's 4 for 4 this morning. I'm gonna be done. I'm not gonna keep pushing my luck. That was great. Fantascarusco. 20 handles on that. We are sitting at just under $500 per account. That's with only 5 micros, folks. That's only with 5 micros. I would be at $1,000 if I did a micro today, and I hesitated on doing a micro. Only reason I didn't is there was technically no news, so I was like, yeah, let's just play conservative. Thank you, Jesus. Yeah, we're up $3,500 on the day. All right, this trade right here, guys, this looks really nice. It depends on where we get the close, but this looks really nice. I'm logging out and going to go to a personal account for the small account challenge. We'll just keep streaming here. All right, it did not give us the close. See that? It did not give us the close. Yeah, this looks really bullish right here, folks. If it gave us a little better entry, I'd be interested in it. Got a small volume imbalance right here. Where's my P&L? PGI. You missed it. I already logged out of my account. Just for you, PGI. Welcome to our stream. I'll pull it up and I'll pop it on screen real quick so you can see. Wait. Ninja Trader is available. Have I met you, PGI? Have you been on here before? I don't know if I've seen your name. But I will pop it on screen for today. I said I went 4 for 4. I do want to show you guys. I think it's fair. If I say I did something great like that, I should show the proof of it. Now, if I say that I lost a trade, that I didn't do so well today, I'm probably not going to show my account. I'm already embarrassed telling you that if I lost money. It takes a lot of guts to do this kind of stuff in front of complete strangers. There's that move higher that we're talking about, and I expected it. It didn't go quite as fast as I thought it would. I mean, 1, 2, 3 minutes. I guess we had to wait 3 minutes. That's still pretty fast. Inverted, found support, moved higher. Yeah, we could still. Really, we're watching this breaker here first. This will be the first presented breaker. I've taken this breaker many times where when we hit this low, technically it's this low right here. Let's see what happens. When we hit that low, we should get a retracement. It looks like we're already getting that retracement. And we're closing right at the previous high, so we may not even get it. There you go, folks. Each of my accounts right there. Sitting at around 489 on most of them. 4 trades with only 5 micro contracts. And you'll see me disconnect. There it is. We are closed. I mean, that's a fantastic way to end the week. I'm pretty sure I am up between $7,000 and $10,000 on the week. Somewhere between $7,000 and $10,000. I don't know. I haven't done the math. But this has been it's been a great week. Quit bragging about your P&L. You know, sometimes there's just that social proof people need. I've been on the other side watching people, and I'm like, dude, just show me your account. Prove to me that you're doing this. There's one guy I followed that he would just tell you the percent he made, and it was always a lot. I mean, huge numbers. And I was just like, it'd just be nice to see, you know, show the number once, twice. But that social proof just tells that it's possible. So I hope you guys, like, with just going for 10 handles. I went 10 handles 3 times, and then on the last trade, we went for 20 handles. So you can be profitable. You could quit your job. You can make this a full-time gig, targeting 10 handles on the Nasdaq. That's all you got to do, guys. I was just talking to my brother about this very thing. Ryan likes to go for the home runs. He likes to go for the 100-point movers. Like, get that 10 points, get out. But then you miss out on opportunities. I will tell you, though, this trade right here, if I was going for the big home run on this one, I would have got stopped out for nothing. I would have gotten nothing on this trade if I didn't move my stop to break even on this trade. I mean, if I didn't take TP at this low. So I got 20 handles before it completely reversed against the position. So, I mean, like, I'm not going to lie. I thought that we were going to really drop from this point, but we didn't even do that. So it's just like, I mean, look at the time. The time is 9:58. We're right in the heart of the macro. if there's a time that it's going to run, it would be right now. So when we see this big move lower, man, you think it's just going to keep going. You hold a position, not taking any profit, and it completely runs against you. You get stopped out at break even. The best situation is you get stopped out at break even. Because sometimes people don't move their stops like they're supposed to when you hit the external low, which is right here. It hits this external low, you move your stop to break even, it's a done deal. So that would have been a 0-point trade. Instead, I was able to take 20 handles off of that, and now I'm done. Northern, have a great weekend, my friend. Take care. Here's what I do like on this 15-minute. This 15-minute wicked into this 15-minute fair value gap right here. We got 2 minutes left. 3 minutes left. Let's see if we move lower here and use this fair value gap that propels us lower. It could give us it wouldn't surprise me if we get an order block here. A green closed candle hitting the fair value gap, close, next candle, wick up maybe to the midpoint of the wick, and then expands lower. Let's walk that out and see if it actually happens that way. So the idea is tag of this 15-minute SIBI. Close green, creating a future order block. Basically what I'm saying is I'm anticipating that this becomes an order block. I'm not taking a trade. This is me tape reading to see if this is in fact going to do what I think it's going to do. Midpoint of the opening range gap is right here. So we could reach all the way down to potentially here if we wanted to. Also, on the close of this candle, we could also wick up higher. We could fill out we could fill in this fair value gap. We could maybe even tag this breaker within the 15-minute candle. But my anticipation is that this would act as resistance, and then we would see over the course of 15 minutes a down close candle that closes below this candle here, solidifying that this is an order block. That's kind of what I would be anticipating in price action and seeing if it will actually plays out that way. Here's our new candle. I'm watching the previous day high, see if it wants to find resistance there, or if it's going to push higher to fill in this SIBI or tap this breaker. Maybe it's just too heavy and it just drops right here. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, that may be the case, Ted. here's what I would say. I'd say if we close below, we still have this first fair value gap that's acted, that's been pretty strong resistance. But look at this candle right here, has this singular fair value gap sitting right there. Based on the narrative, I like this, not right now. If we drop from this point lower, I would not be interested in taking this fair value gap. I would think this fair value gap would be violated and this low would not be ran and it would go back higher. I really want this SIBI to be filled in or this breaker to be tagged. Well, I mean, I guess that's both would have to, either the breaker to be tagged or at a minimum the SIBI to be filled in with a sweep of this liquidity right here. Then any displacement lower, I would be comfortable taking a short on the close of this inversion. It would also give us a breaker right here to the downside as well. So what do we do in between? We sit on our hands, we wait, and we don't do anything. I did take a trade on my small account challenge. I don't know what I was thinking. I didn't record it, and I took a loss. I tell you that I think the small account challenge is going to be, if I'm honest with you, I think it's going to be harder for me. Harder than I think, I should say. Because I really have to wait for the setup that supports my idea that I have to have a hard stop at 10 handles. I have to have a hard stop at 10 handles to mitigate my risk. So I have to wait for those setups. So unfortunately, when I post this video for the week on the small account challenge, it's going to be a doozy, a disappointing one so far, which is slightly embarrassing, if I'm honest with you. All right, look how we've ran previous day high. We're just consolidating right here. I think we're going to probably break this. Run maybe a little lower, break higher, or just break through that. But I mean, look at this type of candle right here. These candles right here since 10:10. That's just nasty. I don't want to do anything with that. Give me a second, folks. Okay, we're sitting back here. All right, so we never ran this high. We stayed right at the previous day low. I honestly don't think we're going to run this low. But if we did, I'm done trading. I'm just telling you, if it was me, I probably would be okay with taking the trade, knowing that we really found our consolidation right at the previous day high. If this previous day high wasn't here, then I would say forget that. I'm not going to take this. But I think there's some probability here that it runs. And it really sucks that there's 24 seconds left on this candle. You cannot take it short here. You need to wait for it to come back up here. I don't like how it came right below. I mean, we almost passed it. So if you think it's going to run, this would be your entry right there. If you think that we're just fake out to this low and we're going to continue higher, then obviously you don't take the trade. There would be your entry right here, right at that fair value gap. So you still would have decent risk. So this trade's violated as soon as we close above this fair value gap. And if it closes above right now, well then, I mean, it's really only an 8-handle loss. That's not bad. I would close it. I would call that a close. So that trade there, if this is why I would not take it way down here. If I'm going to take a trade like this where it doesn't hit that low, I'm going to wait for it to come back up into this fair value gap to reduce my risk. In other words, it would look something like if this right here would have been a 21 handle loss. But the moment I move my entry to be at the low, now it was only an 8-handle loss. So the risk to reward was much better. Obviously, nothing's a guarantee, but your risk to reward is much better. And honestly, you're just taking a smaller loss in the long run. But like I said, I didn't take anything. I'm done trading. For those of you that are appreciating the commentary as far as the analysis, where price is going to go, hit the like button. Also, if you're wanting and if you're interested in kind of joining our community, would love to have you. You can check out dtjacademy.com, which gives you the entire day trading course that I put together that talks about everything that I talk about on stream, but in an organized fashion. I also share the Bible verses that have had a significant impact on my journey, which I'll be doing a video on that actually on YouTube. But it also will give you access to the Discord, to our Purpose Driven Trader Discord, the DTJ community. And in that community, we're looking to build a community of believers, Christian believers, I guess believers that love Jesus and also want to become financially free, but have a kingdom impact in the world around them. So you can check that out. It's down in the description of this video. Here's that turn running this. We will be running this low right here. There's the run right there. It's just a little sweep. I'm not sure if it's going to expand lower or not. I do not like how it's 10:30. Okay. I don't like taking trades. I shared this a couple times now. I don't like taking trades at 10:30 unless it's a continuation of a previous trade, but I don't like taking entries or setups that look good at 10:30 because they tend to be, just from my personal experience, more manipulation. Jesus loves trading, ? LOL. I think, I'm not sure exactly kind of the mood you're going for in that statement, but I would say that I believe that Jesus wants every believer to be financially free and not dependent on other people to make their ends meet. He wants us to depend on him. And I think day trading is a great lesson on learning to be dependent on the Lord. Oh, look at this. Look at this. How this is so nice. Look, hey, what did we talk about on this 15-minute chart, folks? I said order block, creation. Let's see if this candle in the next 2 minutes closes below it. This is what we are going for. This is why I was okay with this inversion, this fair value, playing this fair value gap to the downside. The anticipation of this turning into an order block. Why do I think it's going to turn into an order block? Because I think we're in a market maker sell model. I think by the end of day, we will run this level right here. By end of day, we're going to see that. Just shucking it down. Just sucking it down this way. It's just going to pull it down. That's what I think. We'll see if it does it or not. And this candle here will help tell us. I was anticipating us closing below this. That's really what I wanted to see. Finga, when you make money someone else is losing, Jesus gives free will. Free will. Any person coming into the market is voluntarily choosing to put their money. Nobody's pulling their legs or nobody's making them push the button. Nobody. You're voluntarily clicking that button to say, I want to see if I can make money going long or going short. It's your decision. And the Lord's given us free will. Also, I fundamentally believe that the stock market is designed to make the wealth richer. It's designed to give money to those that created it. So the Bible also talks about taking the finances from the enemy and giving it to the kingdom of heaven. So he will redistribute the wealth of the wicked and give it to the righteous. That's what I think this is. So I am all in. Anybody that would say, "Oh, you can't love Jesus and trade," I don't care. You can go find don't leave. I don't care. This is I'm convinced. I'm convinced. That he wants us to be prosperous on this. I mean, you could think of it another way. Let's just say you're running a business. Let's say you're a tree trimming business. And you go out and you get a contract to cut trees. Well, what are you doing? You're taking that contract from somebody else that didn't win it. I mean, you could do it in any industry. Real estate, man. Real estate, I can't tell you how many times as a believer I have friends that chose not to work with me. You're going to work with some other person, random person. You're not going to work with somebody that loves Jesus, that also you don't want to support that. I mean, geez. I tell you what. I had to learn more about forgiveness, learn more about letting go when it came to working with Christians as a real estate agent. Because I can't tell you how many times my pastor who knew me very, very well, worked with another agent that I was on a team with that they didn't know. And their answer was, we just make it a practice not to work with anybody in the church. We just want to stay safe. We just want to, keep our relationships. And literally worked with somebody a part of my team and not me. They didn't know they were on my team. Another close friend. I was in his wedding. They ended up working with somebody else that his wife knew that also had a relationship. He's bought and sold 3 times. So, bought a house, sold his house, bought another one. And I didn't help him on any of those. Yet, I still consider him one of my close friends. Because I've learned something that I think goes beyond just making money. It's about understanding relationships, and it's not about money. It's about making a difference in people's lives. And so, day trading, while it's about money, I strongly believe that this is about helping you become financially free so that you can pursue the things that the Lord's laid on your heart to have a kingdom impact on the world. When Adam and Eve were in the garden, they didn't have to think about food. They didn't have to think about where they were going to get their next meal from. In fact, they had an assignment. Adam's job was to name all the animals. He had to care for all of the animals. As soon as Adam and Eve ate from the tree and sinned, they were cursed and the Bible says the ground was cursed. And they went from completing their assignment, their God-given assignment, now to toiling the ground just to make ends meet. How many of you have felt like, I'm just trying to make ends meet? How many of you feel like, man, it's just another day, hitting, grinding, trying to do what I need to do to put food on the table? That is a cursed system. It's biblical. Before Adam and Eve fell, they didn't think about where they're going to eat, what they're going to do. Kingdom. They sinned. They're in a fallen world. Now they have to toil to try to make ends meet. Well, when Jesus died, he basically took away the keys from Satan and said, the kingdom of heaven is here. So now us as believers, if we choose to believe it, have the authority to walk in victory in every area of our life. We don't have to toil to put food on the table anymore. The key is faith, and you have to believe that he's going to provide for you. And I believe that through trading and the understanding of the kingdom of heaven, this is what my channel is all about. It's what the assignment I believe the Lord's given me is to help believers see that, number one, and then teach them how to trade. To teach them how to be independent from an employer, to not rely on somebody else to make ends meet. I'm looking at this close right here. If we can get this close aggressively, what time is it? I don't like it. I don't like the time. It's 10:35. It looks nice though. A close above this, running for these highs, looks nice. That's a great end. This looks decent. It really does. Low risk, 9 handles. But only thing I don't like is the time that we're at. So what is this channel about? This channel is about teaching people how to trade and how to renew their mind according to the Word of God. You got your own business? What do you got for a business, Finga? So I'm a realtor. I have rental properties. My wife's a business owner. She's an attorney. She has an adoption course that teaches people how to adopt. We are all in on the entrepreneurial stuff. Cool. Well, I'm glad you're hanging out with us. I'm just looking at some of these comments. Junior, I believe the same. That's why I go gambling today. I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty funny. You know, you don't have to trade the market open. Some of the best times to trade is between 10 and 11 New York time, and then if you can't do that, you can do over lunch. There's some decent moves over lunch. But the macro between 12 p.m. and 1 p.m. There's some decent moves over lunch. Let's see if there was one yesterday. Sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. You just gotta see what the market has, what the market's offering. Let's see here. We dropped. All right. $11.57. Look at this. $11.57. We have an inversion right before noon. This is perfect. Boom, right there. That's your trade. You go long right here. Stop loss is a close below this fair value gap right here. And you're targeting that swing high right there. That's 14 handles in 2 minutes. Now you eat your lunch. In 1 minute. That's 14 handles in 1 minute. Now you eat your lunch. You don't have to trade the market open at all. But if you can identify a setup at macro times, which noon, right around 12 p.m. is a macro time, you can find there's a good probability you'll find a setup at least 3 to 4 days a week. And that's just noon. So if you're on your lunch break, you literally could trade for about 15 minutes, and if you see a setup, you take it. If you don't, you wait. There's another macro at 2 o'clock. So 145, right here. Look at this. We hit a significant key level. What time? At 148. We are in the macro time between 145 and 215. That's the time I would like to trade. Here's an inversion right here. Inversion right here. Fair value gap right here. Support. Move higher. All of this is right around the 2 o'clock macro. You tend to find setups at the tops of the hours. And so you don't have to sit on your chart the whole day. You literally can wait for key times, which the key times are higher probability times that you'll get a solid move. It's not a guarantee for the move, but you have a higher probability of a move that says, all right, we may get a trade now. So for example,
everything looks great in your stomach.
for example, right now it's 1040. So my expectation is in the next 5 minutes, I would start looking for a decent setup. A setup that could give us a nice move higher. Okay? So this candle didn't give us an order block, so we're still potentially seeing for a move higher here. We're waiting to see if the breaker wants to tag right here. And if you see your model within that 15 minutes prior to 15 minutes after, you can take a trade during that time. So if you have a job, jump on for 15 minutes. That's really all you need. I don't know if Ryan's still on here. Ryan's my brother. If you scroll through the chat to the top, you'll see Ryan Bundy. That's my brother. And he works at his job 3 days a week, and he's doing phenomenal for his trading. But he's not looking at his chart all day. He's waiting for those key times, waiting for those key levels, and then he's paying attention. Junior, you are honest showing your gains. Hope you keep growing and teach new day traders ICT concepts. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I draw out levels and just wait for it to come to me. Then I set it to sell it higher levels. Mine sold today and I'm looking for a pullback. Awesome. Yeah, I wasn't talking just for you, Finga. I was referring to anybody that's, I mean, not every, obviously I'd say most people here, I would say 99% of people here have a job. And so how do you trade while you have a job? That's how you do it. You wait for those macro times, those key, identify those key levels, and you wait for it. Airtime, welcome. Glad you're here, my friend. Thanks for being here. Could you please share a link to your trading course? Yes, Airtime. DTJacademy.com. That is the link for the course and also the Discord with everything in it. Also in there, you'll learn my 930 model. The 930 model that I do need to update it because I've modified it since I created the course. But the 930 model. And I take that most days of the week, and that gives me, well, on this case, I made $700 on that 930, on the 930 model this morning. Five-minute unicorn. Low, high, lower, low. Displacement, breaker. Or, I don't know. I don't know if you call that. We need a fair value gap here on the left and on the right. This would be a model 2022 if it plays out. I'm not sure if it will, though. Unicorn, if I know coffee, if I remember correctly, unicorn is when you have a fair value gap on the left and right hand side of the breaker. Let me see if I can find one here. Yeah, I don't see one here. And I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. Is the 930 model still giving above a 70% win? Yes. We're still hitting 70. It's about 70. And I will say, so the 930 model, you can go long or you could go short. But the shorts, if you were only take the shorts on the 930 model, it's a 79% win rate. Thanks to John if he's out here. He did some back testing for me. Yeah, I don't know if I see the unicorn. I think you're referring to this low, high, lower, low, and displacement higher. I'm not personally seeing it there. Coffee. Captain Devender, welcome. Thanks for being here, my friend. Glad you're here. Any way I can help teach ICT concepts to you guys, I'm happy to do so. His concepts changed my trading from zero consistency to straight up gambling, no idea what I'm doing, to now today we made $3,500 today. So we are right now in the 11 a.m. macro right now. We're looking for, here's a breaker right here. It's not a unicorn, but it's a breaker. We swept these highs, displaced back below the previous day high. I like this. I wish it would give us a, the only thing I don't like is it doesn't have a fair value gap right here. I would prefer a fair value gap. Why? The fair value gap signals displacement. The other thing you could do is you could take the entry on the close below of this candle right here. The close below this candle right here turns this into an order block, which this order block ran into this breaker right here. Winner Circle Trader, awesome. I'm glad so you found your phone? Did you find your phone? I hope you found your phone. Now, everything that I've been sharing has all been inside of this area right here. And all of this is just low probability. Low probability. There's nothing that's A++. Nothing that just, trips my trigger and makes me go, wow, this is amazing. We did see this trade play out right here that we marked. We ran for these highs. So it was a great setup. Unfortunately, you would have had to deal with all this drawdown right here. So your entry would have been here. You would have had to handle a 17 handle drawdown. But then it turned around and ran the high. This breaker right here didn't give us a fair value gap. That just didn't make it. I liked it, but it didn't give me the, oh man, I want to take this trade type feeling. It's too emotional. Well, here's the only thing that I'd say then for you, Circle Trader, is that if it's too emotional, then you need to reduce your size. It's not a matter of the Nasdaq, it's a matter of your position size. So if you go to ES, you're probably going to experience the same thing, maybe a muted version of it, if you go with the same size. So taking your trade, taking trades on the, I like the, I mean, I tried ES and I don't like it at all. It's just too slow. But if you're trading on the Nasdaq, you just reduce your size. Go to 1 micro, go to 2 micros, go to 3 micros instead of 1 mini contract, 2 mini contracts, because then you have to deal with all of that drawdown and potentially blow an eval account. Nobody wants to do that. Is a tick and a handle the same thing, Orange fan? No. A tick is 1 tick. A handle is 4 ticks. So when I say price moved, got 10 handles on that trade, I'm saying I got 40 ticks of profit. Every tick is $5 on a mini contract or 50 cents on a micro contract. So today I traded 5 micros. So for every tick, I was making $2.50. Four ticks or 40 ticks comes out to be roughly $100. So when you get 10 handles on 5 contracts, you're making $100. You lost your phone, so you haven't found it yet. Okay. Got your new one coming today. You know what? I would love to go snowboarding again. I went snowboarding in college with a bunch of guys. It was a blast. I have 3 boys right now. I want to take my boys, I want to teach them how to snowboard. The problem is, I have one slight problem. My wife is African. She's from a continent that's, the average temperature is like 75, 80 degrees. So she hates the cold. And the last thing she wants to do is go on vacation in cold weather. She can handle cold weather, but she's like, vacation? You mean you want to spend a week on a mountain in the snow? No, I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to have to make it a boys' trip with my boys. So if you make it that your goal, Circle Trader, make your goal ES only with the micros, I think you could do that. You could do that. It will require more patience because I just have found ES just consolidates, it ticks, and then it pops. You get your big move. Oh yeah, I'm paying myself. No, I'm married. And I'm married to an African woman. She's black. She's not from Cape Town. No, she's from West Africa. Yeah. Here. Let me get you a picture of my family. Let me prove it to you. Here, I'll just throw it up on I got it right here on my phone. Here's a picture of my wife and me over Christmas. Where is it? Trying to find one from one of our date nights that we did. I got too many pictures of my kids. is, right there. That is my wife. It's kind of hard. Here, let me go in with us together. For proof. Proof. There's me in the photo. Me and my wife right there. I'll show you my boys. So I got 3 boys. No dating. I've been married. Oh, guess how long I've been married. Take a guess. Take a guess. I'm getting one of my boys here. One together with all 3 of them. I'm teaching my boys how to be entrepreneurs. So they went door to door selling bracelets that they made. Those are my boys. Went door to door selling bracelets, and I was following them in the car. Puerto Rican, raised in Florida. All right. MG, yeah, no, I appreciate it. So what I do it is I know I don't have to prove anything, but there's something about a level of authenticity when other people realize that they feel more comfortable taking that next step to whether it be a part of a community, to take that step and drop cash, because I mean I wanted that. I wanted that feeling of confidence that they just weren't putting on a show, you know what I'm saying? All right, so I'm watching this breaker right here. There's the wick of that breaker for the first time. This would be a potential 10 handle retracement right here. Let's see if we can get 10 handles. 10 handles would be right here. Let's see if we can get it. There it is. All right, so that, again, the reason I'm showing that is I've talked about on stream many times, when we hit these breakers for the first time, there's a high probability we get at least a 10 handle move. So there's a trade right there. Obviously I'm done. I'm not taking anything. I don't think it's going to drop completely. I'm looking for it to break, to see how it reacts to this fair value gap. Looks Ghanaian. No, she's from Benin. Shola. Benin, West. And actually, coincidentally enough, she leaves tomorrow. She leaves tomorrow to go back home for the first time in, I think, has to be 20 years. I think for the first time in 20 years, she's going to go back home with her mom. She leaves tomorrow. That was my Christmas present to her. I'm pumped for her. I wish I could go, but obviously with 3 boys in school, I wouldn't want to leave them here by themselves or with family. So I'm like, do I want to spend $3,000-$4,000 for my wife to go, or do I want to spend $20,000 for our whole family to go? I'm like, I'll skip the 20. I'll just do 3 and 4. I'll stay home. So she leaves. She's been packing. She's been packing, getting ready for her trip back home. She leaves tomorrow. Thank you, Circle Trader. Appreciate it. Oh, you guys gave your question. I never told you how long we've been married. Okay, so we've been married 17 years. I think it's 17. We got married in 2007. We were one of the 777s. Got married on July 7th of 2007. That breaker's reacting pretty nicely right there. Nice reaction to that breaker. Sean, you worked all over West Africa. What country? Yeah, she's from West Africa. Oh, excuse me. She's from Benin. She's from Benin. Contenu. I can't even say it properly. Contenu. Contenu. The 5 minute, if it closes above this 5 minute, we could see it, but we had the reaction to that breaker coffee. So while you were looking at this you're looking at this 5 minute, I was looking at the breaker for the reaction lower. It doesn't mean we're going to go lower, but I do think, like for example, if we went a little bit lower, I would be interested in taking this long. But the quality of price action has dramatically reduced here. But it's 11 o'clock. There was our trade. We said that we were looking for around, what was that, 10:59? It was, the perfect timing for the trade, for this breaker to the downside. And if you want to see what I anchored that to, here's what I anchored it to. Look at this level right here that ran aggressively to make the high of day. Okay? And then it aggressively moves away. I'm going to mark out this level right here, and I'm going to drag it across, because that is our breaker. And look how it's reacted to that level. Okay? This is why I love breakers so much. They're so visually appealing. They're obvious to see. And they have great reactions if you pick the correct ones. So if you were to have a limit order on that breaker, that's 27 handles, it moved lower. Now, obviously, you don't take the whole thing. You just take a portion of it. You could have gotten 15 handles out of that. 15 handles and be done for the day. Airtime, thank you, sir. You'll get an email from me with all the links just to make sure everything's working appropriately. And I think Tony also, I needed to send a relink to him as well. It's Circle Trader. I did not. She was already in Nebraska. So I live in Nebraska. Her family moved to Nebraska. And she's been in Nebraska since then. And she met me here in the States. Yeah. Hang flying. I don't know if I'll ever catch up with you. If you're still married, then every year I get, the longer I'm married, the longer you're married. But yeah, I got married when I was 20 years old. 20. That's when I pulled the trigger. It's kind of a crazy story. from the time that I met her, 3 months later, we were engaged. And then got married 6 months later. So from the time that I met her, we were married 9 months later. Yes, Winner Circle Trader, my goal right now, I'm going to get it up to 10. With 10, I know that I can basically replace my income from real estate. So my goal is to roughly make $10,000 to $15,000 a month. I'm not quite there yet, but if I keep trading as I have been trading at the beginning of this year, I'm going to blow that goal out of the water. So we'll just see how price action, how the charts play out in the coming months. We'll see. Yeah, I know Apex is being sued right now, but they're being sued as owners. So it has nothing to do with lawsuits in regards to us as profits or anything like that. It has to do with ownership, is my understanding. So I really wasn't too concerned about it. But with that being said, I also am doing a small account challenge because I know the importance of being able to build up a personal account. So that is why I'm doing the small account challenge. I have to be able to build up a personal account. I've never had to. I've been on an eval account and funded accounts, and that's how I became profitable. I didn't have to do what so many other people had to do in the past. So I want to prove to myself that I can build an account. I'm watching that level right there. I want to prove to myself that I can build up a small account, because I've never had to. TOC, what's the best model for 10-handle trades? The breaker or the inversion will work. Either one. The goal is, especially on NQ, the volatility is so beautiful that you just have a really good chance of hitting those 10 handles if you're taking proper setups. So one of the biggest enemies to my trading in 2024 has been impulsive trading. So I became profitable early in 2024. However, what I still struggled with was impulse trading. And I was listening to a book that somebody on the chat recommended. His name's Hank. He recommended a book called Failing Forward. Phenomenal book. I've re-listened to chapters multiple times. I have my kids listening to it because there's so much value in learning how to make mistakes and improving upon them. And I came to the realization through that the biggest weakness in my trading right now that's preventing me from really, really excelling and taking my trading to the next level is taking impulse trades. So that's what I'm looking to get rid of this in 2025, is to get rid of impulse trading. Still reading the market great, still taking great setups on stream, but it's when I'm done, I just sit here. I'm not really analyzing the charts. I sit down and go, oh, this looks nice. Yeah. Oh, it's closing. Let's just see what happens. Click, loss. Eats my profit. That I know I need to get rid of. So we're going to get rid of that this year. Michael Patek, I don't know who that is. Oh, the CEO of Top Step? No, he's not. Does he live in Nebraska still? If he's in Nebraska, I will reach out to him. I don't trade Top Step. I've never had an account with Top Step, to be honest. Yeah, I have. I'll have to check out Top Step. I haven't really looked much into it. Orange fan Huskers. My fingers are crossed, but the problem is my fingers have been crossed for about 15 years. Been like this for 15 years. Every year, oh, it's going to be a great year. It's going to be a great year. No, TOC, we can't be sued. We won't be sued. If anything, if there's a class action suit and people are hurt, they may try to do a class action suit and get other traders involved to basically, hey, have you been injured by Apex? And they're going to try to just get so many people involved that it just makes the number crazy for them to consider. However, I don't think they did anything wrong, because the truth is, I haven't made this video. I need to do a follow-up to my Apex denial video. I learned some valuable information from Apex. I got on, I was emailing them back and forth, and they were extremely responsive, to be honest. And they explained something to me that I have not seen anywhere. Nobody's been talking about it. On how to make sure you don't get denied a second time. How not to get denied a second time. I probably should do the video. I think I should do the video. So, Winner Circle Trader, are you going to be able to do it on the Nasdaq full time? Almost no one does unless they're super solid and have money to drop for wide swing stops. ES isn't the bad guys. Gold and natural gas too. Yes, Nasdaq, I will. Yes, I will become a multimillionaire trading the Nasdaq. There's no doubt in my mind. It's just a matter of time and perseverance and not giving up. I won't give up. It will happen. Hang flying, congrats, brother. We can do all things through Christ with Jesus. Ted, ES is just ticking upwards. Is the book written by John Maxwell? Yes, Sean. Yes, fantastic book. I got the audio book. I think I'm probably going to get the written one, because I'm probably going to take some of his snippets and just post them on X, because some of the gems he drops in that book are phenomenal. Well, come back in 6 months. 6 months to a year. I'll still be doing it. Villainous, if you got in at 8 a.m. on ES or NQ, you would have just hold your position. I know. I see it when I see trades like that, Villainous, I literally do the same thing in my head. Man, if I just got in at this time, closed the trades and walked away, I'd be a millionaire right now. I can't do it though. I can't do it. The only rule Top Step has is not to go over 200 trades. 200 trades, Circle Trader, in a day. 200 trades in a week. Adrian, welcome. Just started trading. Well, we are done trading here, so sorry if you're looking for a setup. We are consolidating. Nothing's looking good. I'm going to be off here shortly. But if you're wanting to take a trade, you're probably going to need to wait till noon. That's probably what your next setup will be. $18 months, Captain Devender. It took me 18 months. Now, 18 months, it didn't take me 18 months to get my first payout. I got a payout, but then after I got that payout, I blew the account. And I had to rebuild it up again. And after I got my first payout, it took me another 6 months to get another payout. So it was like I made progress. I made progress and I stepped back. I made some more progress and then I fell off. I made more progress and I fell back. And it was just that back and forth for a long time. But it took me 18 months to start becoming profitable, consistently making profits. And even when I was consistently making profits, it doesn't mean I was making a lot of profits because I was dealing with small numbers. I mean, I still am only trading with 5 micros, 10 micros. There was a point in time I was only trading with 2 micros. Only 2 micros. So, I mean, when you talk about profits, you know, we're talking not very much over a long period of time. So it took me about 18 months to get to that point where I started seeing more success. Doesn't mean you don't have failures, but it's like you start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Good thing I don't believe in vampires. Well, I'm glad you care. Well, Adrian, welcome. I'm glad you're hanging out with us. We're here every weekday at 9:15. We trade. If you want to come back and hang out. T-Loff, I'm gonna give him a little bit more time. But if Winner Circle Trader, if you can't be positive, then I'll just have to mute you, because this is a positive environment. We encourage every trader to do it. Now, if you honestly think something's not possible, that's fine. You can share that, but then you need to leave it there, because you can't make people do something. You can only give advice, and then you let people make their decision that they want to make. So I'm all for you going on ES and making it happen. And I wish you the best on that. And I hope you are successful doing it. But let's just keep it positive, like T-Loff is saying. Yeah, no negativity here. Turning 33. All right. You said you're from Florida, right? Winner Circle Trader. I will be turning 38 this year. 38. You know what? I don't know why I'm saying this, but part of me, like, when I say that I will make it on the Nasdaq, when I will make it trading, is like, I need you to know, like, what I've given up. What I've given up as a realtor. I gross about $250,000 a year as a realtor. Gross. And I believe this so much that I'm letting that go in the long run for trading, because I want to help people. All right, so we are not breaking. We're finally breaking above this breaker here. There's your displacement above the breaker finally. Look how many times we respected it from that first exposure. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times before we then moved higher through it. So at this point, really what I'm watching, guys, is just this right here. That fair value gap to go long. Because my gut is telling me we're probably running up here. Running up to this daily fair value gap. The daily fair value gap is sitting up here. And if I'm honest, if we close above this daily fair value gap, meaning it doesn't have to be today, but if next week we close above here on an individual day, there's a very high probability we're running back for all-time highs again. All right. We are putting Winner Circle Trader in timeout. Not very fun. It's that negative mindset, guys. Unfortunately, I'm gonna use Circle Trader here as the example. If I highly recommend Failing Forward by John Maxwell. One of the things he talks about is how those that give excuses have a higher probability of failure. A much higher probability of failure. Owning your mistakes and then correcting those mistakes are what will result in you seeing success in your trading. So if you haven't read Failing Forward by John Maxwell, 100%. Get the if you don't want to spend the money, download Audible, and they'll get, if you've never used Audible before, you can get a free Audible book from them on them. Failing Forward. It's a great book. He's been here before, T-Loff, and he wasn't like that before, so I don't know what was up with all that. My guess is he probably blew an account. Sorry, that just seemed too easy at the moment. Oh, you just said that, MG. You were thinking the same thing I was thinking. I mean, I've blown up my fair share of accounts, guys. Oh, I've blown up my fair share of accounts. I mean, if you looked at my if you looked at the profits when I gave the profits, it tells you the account number on there. That's 55. So I've had 55 funded accounts in the past. I wish I could say I didn't have that many, but yes, I have 55. I've had 55 funded accounts, and I've lost about 40 of them. Or whatever the number is. 45? Yeah, so I'm not like, I've just gotten tired of blowing them, and I won't do that. And it's not because of the Nasdaq. I'm not blowing it. I'm not blowing up my accounts because it's the Nasdaq. I'm blowing up my accounts because of poor risk management. Yeah, T-Love, you're exactly right. You guys stay blowing up an account. I'm at the point where I'm about to print like you can never. Some of these, if we might get to the point where I'm gonna need somebody to manage the chat. if we get to the point where we got so many people on here that I can't manage and keep the chat nice, we might have to get to that point. I didn't quit my day job, man. So as a realtor, I have the flexibility to do all kinds of different stuff. But my primary focus is not real estate anymore. My goal is to help people trade. So you think this is his second account? Moderator, that's the word I was looking for. David, I probably will be getting to that getting to that place where I'm going to need somebody to we're going to silence Mr. Buttface. Slightly entertaining, to be honest. You're 100% there, Captain Devender. Is Captain, is it Singh? Captain Singh? Did I say that correctly? Okay, I'll say Singh. All right, awesome, Captain Singh. Well, folks, I think we're going to call it a day here. Had fun chatting around, sharing a little bit about my life. We had a great trading day, great end of the week. Here we actually finally got our close. Actually, let's check this out. The only thing I don't like about this close is this is a 20 handle fair value gap. So honestly, what I probably would be looking at is a close above this fair value gap right there, or excuse me, a close above that order block. If we get a close above that, there's a good chance we push higher. The only thing also, it's really tough. It's also 11:30. I don't like that it's 11:30. I'm not a fan of taking trades. I wouldn't have taken this trade simply because it was around 11:30. Anyway, so we're going to leave it at that. I would be done trading on the day anyway, guys. We've already hit a lot of these levels, and I think the rest of the day is just going to be jacking around. So take care, guys. Stay safe. God bless. Use the code DTJ if you do want to use Apex as your funded futures account if you want. Would love to have, would love that support if you guys want to. If you don't use it, no, you don't need to. Stick with what you got. And then also, if you want to consider joining the Purpose Driven Trader Academy and our Discord, you can find the link down in the description. It's dtjacademy.com. All that info is there. You should be able to find my email if you have any questions on that. So God bless, guys. Have a blessed weekend, and we will see you next week. Take care.